One of the popular questions I get when I consult students or parents is, will AI replace accountant in future?
Okay, let's answer this from the present situation and also the future prospect. Now, my friend is a partner in an audit firm, not a small one, it's a kind of large one, okay? They can't find staff, and you know why? Because the demand for accounting graduates are very high. In fact, right now, if you're an ACCA graduate, if you join the Big Four, your salary will start with 4,000 ringgit. And that said, it's still very hard for them to recruit accountants. So they started to import accountants from Pakistan, from India, to fill in the gap that is short of accountants in Malaysia right now. The Malaysian accountants are actually being snatched by the Australian firms, Singapore and so on, and they are more attracted. Plus, we also have to understand that ever since COVID, the whole situation has changed a lot. Now they have working from home as one of the options. I also have students that they are currently working in Malaysia but working for a Singapore firm paid in Singapore. So what about the future, the next 20 years, next 30 years? Now, it's actually not probable that artificial intelligence can replace accountants, not entirely. Yes, computerization, AI, or robotic processes may replace certain what we call process-driven or repetitive bookkeeping tasks, but not the higher value accounting tasks. Now, some will say that you see how IT has advanced and we can have a self-driving car. But you have to understand the way we drive cars has not changed for decades. So it's still the same variables in terms of car driving. But when you look at the business environment, the accounting environment is very different. Whatever that we apply today, you realize that the next month rules going to change. Next year, the rules going to be different. We have tax changes every year. So it's actually very difficult for changes to keep up to date. So this is why we find that even though computers are getting more and more advanced, but it's still not possible to replace accountants in all the functions and the role played by accountants. Now, in the past, accountants actually spend a lot of their time on non-value added role, like doing data entry. So we used to, my time as a student, I study accounting on ledger books, the A3 kind of books, and we actually carry those kind of books to schools, and now we don't do all that anymore. So new technologies have took over all these mundane, repetitive, non-value added jobs that does not require a lot of our mind power. But human accountants are still needed. In example, I'm just going to quote a few ways. We need trained accountants to analyze and interpret data. Now, technology or big words like big data can give us numbers, show us the trend, but we need someone to make sense of all this and to use all this to make strategic decisions. Business environment change very, very fast, very rapidly, and it's too complex for IT systems to update that fast enough. So again, we need human to be around. Now you see, computers can be very advanced, can be very fast. Now we just use an example, okay? This is a bit on the IT side. If we use our human eyes to focus on the subject, you can see how fast the human eye can focus on something, that you can switch your vision from near to far and you don't see any kind of lagging. But computers just can't do it yet, alright? So I do not know how soon that all these things will happen, but still, we need people to input a lot of variables, a lot of rules into the computer systems to understand all that complexity. But business environments are just changing so fast that it's very difficult for you to take away the human side of it. Now also, there are still a lot of small and medium enterprises that they are actually key to move the economy. And you don't expect them to adopt all these latest technologies. Even if you look at our Malaysian environment, you can say that yes, the bigger corporations have started to automate their business, they start to computerize their business. But up to today, you can still see some small businesses that they issue invoices using pen and paper. So yes, we can say there are less people using stationery nowadays, but you cannot say that they are not needed. So we still need accountants to be consultants, to advise small businesses about all this. We also need accountants to teach them the numbers. So it's not just about doing the work, but it's about giving or imparting the wisdom about how to manage the business in a more financial sense. What we can say is AI will transform accounting, but definitely not replacing accountants.